All right. So, back. All right. 3 months of this, eh? What things is Colgating on tap? The thing, says Banana Wolf Mackie. You know, the thing with the tongue. Yeah, the thing with the tongue. It's the thing. She does it. Yeah. Honored sir, cried Marmeladov, recovering himself. Oh man, this Marmeladov, alright? What is this book about? It's about this dude, Marmeladov. What was his story again, right? I think that has been the majority of the book by now. Marmeladov's story? Not really, but we're getting there. So Marmeladov, he found a lady that he got to marry, like he found her in, which was an unfortunate circumstance for her. A lady, a widow lady, he married above his station. And then everything fell apart and he became an alcoholic. That's pretty much it. But now he's got his job back. Yeah, she started to resent and hate him. But as soon as he got his job back, oh right, yeah, his daughter, I think, became a prostitute. I'm not sure, anyway. Then that's where we're at in his story, yeah. Colgitino says, licks your eyeballs? That's the thing she does with her tongue. Sure. If that what floats your boats, Colgitino tap, yeah. Plasma says, what if you are laying in bed and her sister comes and lays next to you and does the thing with the tongue? I mean, what? That would be weird, wouldn't it, Blasphemous? Weird. Yeah, I think unless you have like an open relationship where that would be okay, I would probably like, could you please get out of this bed? And if there's something here, like I need to deal with that other situation first. No Donor says, sometimes I've noticed sisters have a lot of common, including taste in men. That is not surprising the least bit, right? Not at all surprising. Getting very close to, like, why not both? What would a possum do? Asks Banana Waffle Monkey. You play dead. You play dead if the sister shows up? Blasphemous says, yeah, what if the sister has issues from childhood where she wanted what her sister had? Then, yeah, don't be in that situation. Get out of the situation. Do you want a crazy woman like that? That doesn't sound attractive at all, those kind of issues. Actually, it does sound a little bit attractive. Because issues leads to the thing with the tongue, right? All right. Honored sir, cried Marmalade, recovering himself. Oh, sir, perhaps all this time a laughing matter to you. As it does, perhaps all this seems a laughing matter to you, as it does to others, and perhaps I am only worrying you with this stupidity of all the trivial details of my home life. Yeah, a lot of detail. But it is not a laughing matter to me. I understand that. It doesn't seem to be a laughing matter. Marmeladov has seemed to have issues. Yeah, problems. Colgitino tab says, or she wanted to lick her sister's eyeballs as a child, but her sister didn't like it. Nordona says, if a woman is crazy enough, you could date a new sister every day. Right. If a woman is crazy enough, you could date a new sister every day. I don't get it. Banana Waffle Monkey says everyone should stick their dick in crazy once in their life. I'm gonna pass. Yeah. I think I'm gonna pass. Just pass. I'm not one for one night stands at all. And I don't see myself dating, like spending a lot of time dating, right? Where I would get to that very point. Lasmus is just make sure they don't know where you live. Oh wow. We were talking about kissing. The whole thing is that you're supposed to be comfortable with each other. So you're comfortable kissing and whatnot, but not comfortable enough knowing where you live. Oh wow. Oh. Colgate Tab says, do it to make Banana Waffle Monkey happy. I don't know about that. No Donor says hard pass on double yellow. What's double yellow? Double yellow? I don't know what that is. For I can feel it all, and the whole of what that heavenly day of my life, and the whole of that that evening I passed in fleeting dreams of how I would arrange it all, and how I would dress all the children, and how I should give her rest, and how I should rescue my own daughter from dishonor, and restore her to the bosom of her family. Yeah, that's fucked up, right? She was forced into prostitution by poverty, and since she was a prostitute, they had to kick her out from the family. She is not allowed to meet the family anymore. That's... and a great deal more. No one says it's no passing lane. Ah, those are white in Sweden. Double whites. No passing lane. No, the single. Actually, it's single. It's a single white line. And then you have two lines with one dotted line if you could pass. Ah, double yellow is a no pass on either side. That's just a single line in Sweden. Oh, Roostercock says to Banana Waffle Monkey, an electric outlet is pretty crazy. Oh. Cider, can you summarize what has happened, says Blasphemous. Alright, what has happened so far? We have... Fuck, I'm terrible with names. We have our main character. We have our protagonist. He is poor as fuck, right? That's what we know. He is educated and poor as fuck. We don't know a lot about him. We just know that he had to pawn some shit. He had to pawn some shit, get rid of some stuff. Right? And that sucks for him, eh? So he went to a pawn shop, and when he was at the pawn shop, he had this idea. Because it was an old lady? A lady, anyway. That had the pawn shop, and she was all alone there. So he got this idea: I can fucking rob her, take all that money, because he's poor, right? He hasn't eaten in days, right? And we meet him the next time he goes there and pawns something, and he's scoping the place out. Right? He kind of hated himself for doing it, but he needed the money, and this idea has just grown and grown and festered in his mind. So he has had that idea. That's the whole first chapter. Then it ends with him going into a pub for the first time. I'm guessing he's becoming a little bit of an alcoholic himself, right? Because that was the first chapter. It ends with him going into that pub. Then we pick up in the second chapter sometime later. I don't know how, not the same day, right? Days, weeks, months? I don't know. It's just an idea he's been playing around in his head. We end up in the same pub, and here he meets this guy, Marmeladov, that tells his life story, which I just summarized before. Yeah, so just take that summary, and we're in the middle of that. In him summarizing his life to our protagonist. I think that's the summary. Nothing has happened yet. Colgate Inotep adds the quote, "Fuck, I'm terrible with names." I am. Yeah, I can't remember it. We'll notice it. I'll remember it when I see it, when it comes back, but now I can't. I'll recognize it, though. Right. Quite excusable, sir. Well then, sir. Marmeladov suddenly gave a sort of start, raised his head, and gazed intently at his listener. Well, on the very next day after all those dreams, that is to say, exactly 5 days ago in the evening, I don't remember the dreams, but 5 days ago in the evening, by a cunning trick, like a thief in the night, I stole from Katerina Ivanovna the key of her box, took out what was left of my earnings, how much it was I have forgotten, and now look at me. All of you. All right, yeah. He's just gotten his job. He's given his wife the money, but his alcoholism got the better of him. He stole all the money and got back to getting drunk. Yeah. He sold all of her possessions. That's part of his story, like the alcoholic. Selling all of her possessions for the booze. Banana Waffle Monkey says, how do I turn stream quality down for when I have it in the background? Well, what you do is that first you install Linux, then you get your hand on MPV, and then you just run it with YouTube DL and MPV, and you run it with no video, and then you have no video. It's just audio. That's how you do it. Node Runner says, we don't need McDead, we need McNames. Terrible with names counter. Do you want that counter? I can add it, if you're serious about it. I don't think you were. I mean, I'm just terrible with names. Lasmus says, I'm surprised Cider hasn't called someone the wrong name today. I was close earlier. You didn't notice it. Colgate on tap says, no runner was serious. Add it. All right. Let me just... all right. Add terrible with name counter. All right. I added it to the to-do list. All right. That's easy enough to do, I think. Wait. Did he leave and did not go back in 5 days? All right, let's continue reading. It is the 5th day since I left home, and they are looking at me there, and it's the end of my employment, and my uniform is lying in a tavern on the Egyptian bridge. I exchange it for garments that I have on, and it's the end of everything. All right, so his life fell to pieces. He lost his job. Everything went to shit, and when everything went to shit, he became an alcoholic. And he just screwed his wife, his children, his wife's children. He screwed everybody over. But then stuff started to turn around. But it didn't turn around enough. Because Alcohol was calling, eh? So he just stole. Well, is that really stealing? He took all the money and just fled. He didn't even go back to work. Marmeladov struck his forehead with his fist, clenched his teeth, closed his eyes, and leaned heavily with his elbow on the table. But a minute later his face suddenly changed, and with a certain assumed slyness and affection of bravado, he glanced at Raskolnikov. There we go, that's our protagonist, Raskolnikov. He glanced at Raskolnikov and laughed, and said, "This morning I went to see Sonia, and I went to ask her for a pick-me-up." Sonia. Is that the... Alright, you can add one to the counter. "You don't say she gave it to you," cried one of the newcomers. He shouted the words and went off into a guffaw. We learned that was a... that type of laughing. No Donor says, "Good news, a new Billie Eilish album is coming out soon." I don't think I've heard no, I haven't heard Billie Eilish. Is that something you recommend? Blasphemous asks, "Is Ciders going to start doing music video reactions videos?" Didn't have a plan on it, no. Banana Waffle Monkey says, "I honestly don't mind her music." Billie Eilish. Blasphemous says, "That would be interesting." Absolutely, alright. So, do you have like a beginner has never heard Billie Eilish, right? What would you recommend? Billie Eilish. Wait, was that it? Whoops. Let's see. Bill. There we go. Bill Eilish. Bellyache. What is that? Oh, the song Bellyache. Bellyache. Oops. Oh, that was annoying. Oops. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. No Donor says, "When the party's over, I asked for one song." I'm not gonna remember those things. The party's over. I love the beat on "You Should See Me in a Crown." We'll try it out after the stream. Listen to it. Sonia must have been the daughter. Yeah, Sonia must have been the daughter. This very quart? That's gotta be money, right? United States liquid unit. This very quart was Bought with her money, Marmeladov declared, addressing himself exclusively to Raskolnikov. 30 kopecks she gave me with her own hands, her last, all she had. As I saw, she said nothing. She only looked at me without a word. Not on earth, but up yonder. They grieve over me, they weep, but they don't they don't blame them. They don't blame them, but it hurts more. It hurts more when they don't blame. It does, doesn't it, right? The disappointment. I'm not angry, I'm just disappointed. Yeah. 30 kopecks, yes, and maybe she needs them now, eh? What do you think, my dear sir? For now she's got to keep up her appearance. It costs money. That smartness, that special smartness, you know? Do you understand? And there's pomatum too. Pomatum? That. Ah, hairdressing. Perfumed oil. All right. There's pomatum too, you see. She must have things. Petticoats, starched ones, shoes too, real jaunty ones to show off her foot when she has to step over a puddle. Do you understand, sir? Do you understand what all the smartness means? And here I, her own father, yeah? Here I took 30 kopecks of that money for a drink, and I'm drinking it, and I have already drunk it. Come, who will have pity on a man like me, eh? Are you sorry for me, sir, or not? Tell me, sir, are you sorry or not? Oh, man. Oh, man. The self-awareness. Oh. That is... Yeah. And that's the similarities with like addiction and depression, right? The narcissistic tendencies that comes with them. Feel sorry for me, he says. He says, feel sorry for me because I screw over my family. Oh. It's sad, isn't it? It's very sad. He would have filled his glass, but there was no drink left. The pot was empty. What are you to be pitied for? Shouted the tavern keeper, who was again near them. Shouts of laughter and even oaths followed. The laughter and the oaths came from those who were listening and also from those who had heard nothing but were simply looking at the figure of discharged government clerk. Of the discharged government clerk. There we go. To be pitied. Why am I to be pitied? Marmeladov suddenly declaimed, standing up with his arms outstretched as though he had only waiting for that question. I mean, I pity him, but I feel more sorry for his family. Why am I to be pitied, you say? Yes, there's nothing to pity me for. I ought to be crucified on a cross, not pitied. Crucify me, O judge, crucify me, but pity me, and then I will go of myself to be crucified, for it is not merrymaking I seek, but tears and tribulation. Do you suppose you that sell that this point of yours has this pint, there we go. All right, do you suppose, you that sell, that this pint of yours has been sweet to me? It was tribulation I sought at the bottom of it, tears and tribulation, and have found it, and I have tasted it. But he will pity us who has pity on me, who has pity on all men, who has understood all men and all things. He is the one, he is the judge. He will come in that day, and he will ask, where is the daughter who gave herself for her cross-consumptive stepmother, and for little children of another? Where is the daughter who had pity upon the filthy drunkard, her earthly father, undismayed by his beastliness? And he will say, come to me, I have already forgiven thee once. I have forgiven thee once. Thy sins, which are many, are forgiven thee, for thou hast loved much. And he will forgive, my Sonia, he will forgive. I know it. I felt it in my heart when I was with her just now. Wow. Wow. So his argument, how he justifies this to himself, is that he is helping his daughter to get to heaven by making her life worse. He is getting her to heaven. That's the same logic as, oh, I should lie to my child just so they should learn about lying. It's good for them. Parents tell themselves, right? But that actually checks out as well. It checks out with how the world works, right? First he acts, and then he rationalizes. Right? This rationalization comes after the fact, right? The behavior comes first, and then he rationalizes it by saying, oh, but now she'll get to heaven. I was actually helping her out. He's justifying his own behavior for himself. Post hoc. Yeah, post hoc indeed. I felt it with my heart when I was there with her just now, and he will judge, and he will forgive all, the good and the evil, the wise and the meek. And when he has done with all of them, then he will summon us. You come forth, he will say. Come forth, ye drunkards, come forth, ye weak ones. Come forth, you children of shame. Post hoc, Colgate in a tap. All right, check that out. Post hoc, after the fact. I think that's really the definition, right? Relating to or being the fallacy of arguing from a temporal sequence. Oh, to a causal relation. Ah, right. I thought that mean after the fact. But that is it. The rationalizations for our behavior are post hoc. First you do an ethical act, and then you make the moral judgment about that act. It's not the other way around. You don't, like, in a given moral situation, when you're in a live situation, you just act. You act. Right? He needed money. He acted. He asked his daughter for money. And then after the fact, he makes an argument, an ethical argument about his own behavior. Like he had done that rationalization before, but he hadn't. Colgatino says, thanks for calling my acts ethical. Lasmus says, could have just used the dictionary. Yeah. That would have been faster, right? But what I wanted to do was also go over to... You can add another thing on the counter there, because I don't remember his name. Right. That's his big thing. Moral foundations. He's talking about it all being post hoc. Yeah, he's talking a lot of the. It's a psychology that is talking a lot about morals. Yeah. Blasphemous. Oh, right. Colgate and Tep also all. Well, actually, they are moral acts, not ethical acts. That was a misnomer from me. But all acts that are within, like, in between people that influence other people, right? All those acts could be looked upon with an ethical lens. And all those acts are moral in one sense or another. Blasphemous says we need a dictionary command. All right, so. To do. I managed to destroy my to-do list, so I don't remember what I needed to add more. Like command. What else did you need? Fallacy for random fallacy explanation. Ah. Like quotes. Just adding all the fallacies. Colliatino Tab says, that one time I get a compliment from you, you take it back. Oh, my apologies. It's not really a compliment. Right? All acts are moral. It was misnamed by me. Node owner says you could use that command line interface dictionary for the dictionary command. That was the plan, yeah. That was the plan. Just pretty much just taking this and just adding it to the chatbot. Something like that. That's a fun thing to add, I guess. Also, I don't know if that's the one time that you got a compliment from me. Huh. I think I've complimented you plenty of times before. Oh, gotta answer this. All right. What does he think? Not only says, which command line app are you using again? the Dick TD. Yeah, Dick TD I'm using. I liked it because I thought you were talking about two different things when we were talking about the Dick Tower defenses. I thought we were talking about different things, but as you may have noticed, when I do Dick TD, it grabs it from WordNet. That's the one you recommended, right, Nodrunner? I don't forget who recommended which. One of you recommended WordNet, and the other one recommended DickTD. I'm pretty sure it was Blasphemous who recommended DickTD. But it gets WordNet, and it gets from G side, and then G side again. Right? It's a collection, right? DickTD is a collection of dictionaries. They're all kind of terrible, but yeah. Nodrunner says, yep, WordNet. I like WordNet a lot. It's straightforward, right? It just gives you an explanation. I really like that more than the G side, so I've flipped them around. But they have been lacking. There has been a lot of words in this book that I've tried to look up that just weren't there. They just weren't there. And that's kind of unacceptable. The whole point is that it's supposed to be a replacement for just doing it with the browser. But oh right, that was one of the to-do list things. Damn it. I screwed that up. Because I managed to remove all my to-do stuff. Dictionaries. All right, what will this God say to him? And we shall all come forth without shame, and we shall stand before him. And he will say unto us, You are swine, made in the image of the beast, and with his mark, but come ye also. And the wise ones and those of understanding will say, O Lord, why dost thou receive these men? And he will say, This is why I receive them, O ye wise. This is why I receive them, O ye understanding. That not one of them believed himself to be worthy of this. And he will hold out his hands to us, and we shall fall down before him. And we shall weep, and we shall understand all things. Then we shall understand all, and all will understand. Katerina Ivanovna even, she will understand. Lord, thy kingdom come. And he sank down on the bench, exhausted and helpless, looking at no one, apparently oblivious of his surroundings, and plunged in deep thought. His words had created a certain impression. There was a moment of silence, but soon laughter and oaths were heard again. That's his notion. Talked himself silly. A fine clerk he is, and so on, so on. Let us go, sir, said Marmeladov, all at once raising his head and addressing Raskolnikov. Come along with me. Kozel's house. Looking into the yard. I'm going to Katerina Ivanovna. Time I did. Raskolnikov had for some time been wanting to go, and he had meant to help him. Marmeladov was much unsteadier on his leg than in his speech, and leaned heavily on the young man. They had 200 or 300 paces to go. The drunken man was more and more overcome by dismay and confusion as they drew nearer the house. No, Runner says, my teeth has been brushed and my eyes are tired. I believe it's past my bedtime. Not that I have one. All right, nice. Thanks for hanging out, Node Runner. You stayed up late today, eh? Sleep tight. Yeah, sleep tight, and see you next time. See you next time, indeed. Yeah, it's getting time for lunch as well soon. I want to see just... Actually, they just left the pub. Maybe that is a good place for a bookmark. And this might be a good spot to... Actually, if we just want to see full screen and see what it looks like. Yeah, this is a good spot. Alright. And we just add a bookmark. Bookmark. There we go. I've added a bookmark. Blasphemous says, good news, Colgate. Cider can bring Inspirabot to his bot. Alright, so I don't know about that, but it's on the list. I don't know if I'll do it, but it is on the list. It is on the list. Actually, damn it. I'll do it like this. One more file to edit. Wait. Oh, fuck. Did I screw something up? No, we're fine. Just fat fingering all over the place, eh? Oh, I don't know if you're curious, Blasphemous, but I've put it up on GitLab if you want to, if you were curious at the bot. It is there now. Oh, another good thing about this very stopping point is that we're at line 1000. We're at line 1000, actually. The bookmark is at line 1000. 1000 lines, 4% into the book. We're taking approximately 1% per day, which will make this 100 hours read. More than that. 100 hours. And I spent no, that's 1.5. So that, yeah. That's 3 months. I'm enjoying myself so far. Might take a break from it. From time to time. And having it, yeah. We'll see. Reading other stuff, maybe. Yeah, essays and yeah, different stuff. I like that. All right, thanks for hanging out today. I had fun. I hope you had a good time as well. And see you next time. Cheers.